right, welcome, mateys, to another edition of the Blue Green Ocean Load. Your host, David R.R. Stenberg. Me, Captain Morgan, below decks. The big sea pussy down here below decks. My nose was like a faucet, man. You could have just filled cups, but I held cups underneath. Just filled cups with post-nasal drip.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing, boys?
George got the flu.
Yeah, man. What happened? Stomach flu or head and chest flu?
I wish it was as fun as stomach flu. No, it was Christmas Eve. My head swelled up like a balloon. And I was having like fever reality and all that stuff. How are you feeling? You didn't catch any of that, did you?
No, not yet. My brother got really sick. He had a stomach flu real bad, and then his wife got it. We were going to have Christmas Eve over at his house, and he had to cancel.
Yeah,
So
we did
a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
That sucks. You feeling better now?
Somewhat.
I couldn't hear you because the kettle's going off.
Not anyway.
I'm sorry. The kettle was going. The kettle was going off. I couldn't hear anything.
No, it's content.
It's content. No, I wanted to hear what George had to say.
No, it's nothing. But the people tell about the fog of having fever, where you experience things, hallucinations, and you do things you don't realize you're doing.
Wow.
I was experiencing all that.
Wow.
Both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So it wasn't much fun.
Yeah. I remember what usually happens with me is I'll have like the same dream over and over again all night when I have a fever. It'll be some weird, horrible thing. When we went to see that movie, Saving Private Ryan, I got a fever after that, and all night long it was Nazis invading Foster, and I'd wake up, and I'd justify how that's impossible. The war happened all those years ago, and it's impossible that there'd be Nazis now. And then I'd fall back asleep, and then whatever reasons I had for thinking that it was impossible in my dream, like, no, the war never ended, and they're finally winning, and and then I'd be like, wake up and say, well, no, it's impossible because of logistics. How are they going to get all these tanks over here without us knowing it? And then I'd fall back asleep, and it'd be the Nazis are invading, and like just weird dream after weird dream. One night it was triangles. All night long I was trying to solve geometric problems with triangles all night long. It's weird shit.
Pointed a bunch of people.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they all would rather have stayed home than caught what you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing for us too to go over to my brother's, but it was nice. We had a nice time here with just us,
Yeah.
It's been many years since we did that. When the kids were younger, we did that. We wouldn't go anywhere on Christmas Eve. And then when my kids were older, like they started getting into their teens, my mom started insisting that we go out again, and go hang with her family, and then they're all. And then they're all like, well, now my cousins have kids, so that they don't want to go out. So then now we just go over to my brother's, which is really nice. My brother's got a great place. It's perfect for entertaining. And it's gym, so it's just like always laid back and really cool,
Yeah, your brother's all right.
My brother's cool, man.
Yeah, he was really cool. I lived there for a while. That was great. The drunken weave in Narragansett.
Oh, yeah.
He spent his whole time on that porch not working on his surfboard. I was addicted after we had those pieces. That one time, it's the closest I got to like having something that floated. I was like, oh, I just got to get a
I know.
surfboard. But they cost so much. And Jimmie was fixing one. He'd always be there, right? There'd be a beer on it. It was more of a bar than a fucking surfboard, you know. But that was cool. Just go over there and drink on the porch, you know.
Yeah.
And then I saw his name at Amgen. He was a big engineer. He was a big guy. I was a security guard, right? And he was on the list. I said, "Oh, I know this guy, right? Big honcho, right?" And I said, "What if they know he spent most of his time in college drunk?"
Yeah, they all did.
I know. Yeah, that's why things are the way they are. Well, you learn your shit. You actually you don't learn when you start doing it. That's when you learn it. You know, when you see it again, you go, "Oh yeah, pouring cement. I remember that class." Yeah. Now I get the.
And, you know, a lot of times you don't even end up doing what your degree is in.
Yeah, you do a section of it. You end up getting good at one part of it. You know.
I got this friend. He's got a PhD in materials science, right? He's never worked in materials science. He got out of college. He got a job working for Apple, and then he stayed long enough to get whatever stocks they give you after a while, and then he got a job at SpaceX. He works at SpaceX.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's never really done materials science, geology, or whatever it was he was studying. Smart kid though, like really, really smart. Jed's son.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
cool.
He got paid to go to MIT to do his grad work, to get his PhD.
Nice.
Like they gave him a stipend so he could live and he didn't have to pay for his school or nothing.
That's the shit. That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yep. Smart kid.
You know, it's pretty wild, Mike, is that you were thinking about the incel, Mobius, same time I was.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, last week you brought it up, and I said, "Holy shit! I got a tablet, so I could look at them again." And I got it. This is like a $45. This was $45. This tablet.
Yeah.
This shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's cool, right? Yeah, so now I can read them. Now that's actually big. I used to have them on the phone. I got them in 2017 when I bought these, right, for Kindle. And I was trying to read them on my phone. I had a 7-inch and it wasn't half. This is a 10-inch, right? It's perfect, right? And this actually was out back then, right? But it was like 300 and something bucks. I'd be goddamn if I'm buying a tablet for that, right? But now it's like, this is ancient technology, according to everybody but me. It's 9 years old. It's the shit, right? It's the Kindle. That's all it is a Kindle. I got halfway through Tender is the Night.
Who's that by?
F. Scott Fitzgerald's Tender is the Night.
Oh.
It's the last one he wrote. And this is about him and Zelda, basically.
Really? How do you like it?
Fucking love it. This is all
Really?
fucking real. This. I studied one chapter. I read it over and over again. Right? Just like, fuck the way he. All right, George tried to describe this earlier, like how it felt for someone to end. You know, like when you feel the first like cold air come through, when it like you realize it's not going to be any more long hot days anymore. You know, or they're going away. It's that feeling. Right, he wrote that in a paragraph. He got that feeling right out. Right, just I don't know. I read that again. He said, "How do you do that?" So a bit.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything like that since Crane. I read Red Badge of Courage, and it was like I watched a movie, right? And then I watched it again. He has lines like it starts with the army slowly woke up, you know. As the sun, you know, in the dawn. I'm doing it wrong, but that's how we kind of. And I went, "Fuck me, this guy." Anyway,
you know, the one that got me really understanding about the quality of writing itself was Cannery Row.
Yeah. Steinbeck.
Because every other chapter, like there's a chapter that's really funny about Mac and the boys and all that, and then every other chapter there's this really poetic description of Cannery Row. It was the first time, like I really, because I didn't really get good English classes in school. Like, you know, fucking English class in the seminary was just fucking stupid, you know. So, you know, my kids, they all had like real English classes in Pontiganset, you know, and my wife's an English teacher. And So we're always talking about literature and stuff. And they're talking about stuff that I don't, I just read the book, I don't know about the symbol. I'm not thinking about what's the symbolism here. What are the overarching themes? What are the subtexts and all this other shit? I don't know anything about that. I go for the ride. I throw my hands up in the air and I go for the ride. Yeah. Right. But then when I read Cannery Row, and I just started really realizing about like how someone can be such a good writer, that was the one that really opened my eyes. And ever since then, I just look at the quality of the writing, which, when you read a lot of science fiction short stories, the writing's not really that good. And the ideas are great. And that's why Vonnegut always, did that with Kilgore Trout. Never mind trying to write a stupid story. Here's the idea. Kilgore Trout wrote a story about.
Yeah.
And he'd give you the great idea,
sure,
without having to write a poorly written.
Yeah, just the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were great. They were all great. I was going to write them all down. I was going to make the list of Kilgore Trout stories. There was one I remember. There was this race of aliens that communicated by tap dancing and farting, and they landed in the farm, and then they came out. And they started They were like warning them that their barn was on fire, like behind the rednecks. The barn was going up in flames, and they started tap dancing and farting, and they shot them.
They shot him. Well, he's a funny bastard.
Oh man, there was Jailbird was. I did it again when Vonnegut turned 100. I read all his books again, and Jailbird came out on top this time. I'd forgotten how great that was.
Really, I hadn't read that one.
That was he was in a Nixon cabinet, right? But he was like the liaison to what young people were thinking, and like he never went up. He was only up there with the president once in the Oval Office, and he was so nervous he had like 3 cigarettes going. It's like this fire. Nixon mentioned something about whatever, and then that was it. And the plumbers were upstairs. He was in his basement. Nobody fucking talked to him, and you could hear this rumbling around on the floor above him, and it was the plumbers, right? Once they came down and discovered he was there, right? So they were yelling to hear what they could hear through the floor, and then they left him. So yeah, I don't know. In the end, there was that lady. I don't know. By the end, I'm fucking laughing out loud. It was so fucking good. Oh my god, that turned out to be my favorite. And Mother Night, that one stuck out. I forgot how good that one was. I only read that one once. Now twice. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when you read King, you can just turn your brain off. A lot of it is
the ride.
You read it fast. It's taken me forever. If this was a King book, I'd have finished it days ago, right? But I keep stopping, and it's a slow read. King is like, she runs. It's all the tropes, right? And then she falls, right? Of course she fell, right? Now she can't get her keys in her car door, all that, like, ugh. So you're like, you just read like a mile a minute, Yeah, it's way different. It's a different thing. It's just garbage.
You're not reading it for the quality of the writing. You're reading it for the adventure. That's how I watch movies too. It's like I just to suspend disbelief and I just go for the ride.
Well, you try.
Sometimes it gets in the way. Sometimes a really bad movie will get in the way.
Ugh.
And you go, wait a minute.
Damn it! You just said the other thing.
Yes. Fitzgerald is like this really. That's what he's known for. Is his writing. He's one of those guys.
Yeah. Strong woman in this too, like the golfer, right? That I like.
Oh yeah.
There's Zelda and him are the main characters for him. Zelda's crazy, right? She has problems. So anyway, so those two are there. They're rich. They're on the French Riviera, which they actually were. And this 17-year-old starlet shows up. Right? She's just like walking around, and her mother was there. Her mother was the one that raised her and got her in Hollywood and got her. She has a hit film this year, right? She's like, people know her. She's like a celebrity. She's done all this, and now this woman, right? Yeah, the mother, her Rosemary's mother. I kind of admire. She's trying to just, okay, here's the world, man. I gave you everything I could. Now get the fuck out of my way because I want to do some living now. Right? She just wants out, right? And then, but she just loves her, right? And she's not really going to abandon her, but she really wants to kind of move on. She's like, but she's really done a hell of a job, really. So anyway, the doctor, right, Fitzgerald's character, falls in love with her. They fall in love, right? So,
of course they do.
So now, all right, so a whole bunch of shit happens, and now they end up finally, like, about here. He ends up at a cafe with her, with the mother. It's Dick Driver, Fitzgerald, and the mother. Now they're talking, and it's gold. It's unreal. I'm not gonna read it out loud, but I mean, I can't recommend this book enough. I really can't. I didn't even think you know what I mean. It's a different type of read. It's fuck. I can't describe it really. I don't want. Well, I can't because I will someday. I will be able to articulate this better because I'm not going to give up on it. Oh, you know what I got? I got the book on the Kindle, right? 49 cents. That's what I got. I got it down, and like there's some words like I don't know what this is, right? You push it and it tells you, you know.
Oh,
like, there was one like there's some you wouldn't know. There was like when it was describing the fall coming, when it felt like that there's a wind that comes off of the south of France and over the Med, and it's usually predominant during the winter, right? So this one, so he mentions it, right? This came across.
Was it the Mistral winds? I know this. I've heard mention of these winds before.
Well, anyway, and so like that was like, oh, that's cool. That added to it. Like when I first read the sentence, I kind of figured it was something like that. Like I got it, right? But
yeah, right.
But this is really cool to be able to just get the whole thing. I didn't know it was that. I think it's called a minstrel.
Mistral. The Mistral winds.
Yeah.
And I read them in a book. Much like you, they were describing these winds that were always blowing all winter.
But there was like a sign that summer was over, but it was a subtle thing, you know. Yeah. And he had brought up the weather again later, and really like hammered it home that, and you got that
now
summer's end feeling, you know, like it's over.
So
you fell in love, and now that's gone. That's over. There's just the depression of it, and you know, I remember infatuation, and then like being separated. Like just because the summer ended and shit. Just that. And like I looked out, I forgot. So do I still have that fire? I looked down, right, Mike, and it's like I saw like a pilot light with a little blue light that went poof. Well, I guess it's not there. It's over. It's over for me.
Yeah. Anyway, you know, if I knew how to read literature, I would be thinking about all right, so he brings up the weather twice. So that's really important somehow, right? And like my kids know how to analyze that, and they can probably tell you, but I don't. Like, yeah. I just know that after talking to Laura and the kids so much, like I know that everything is significant, right? So, and everything is symbolic of something else. I just never learned how to analyze literature the way that people in the know are supposed to.
Well, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm having a hell of a time.
Oh, there you go. You know why? Because he's a great writer.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And sometimes you don't need to analyze it. You just need to go with it, you know?
He wrote this in 1934.
Well, yeah.
And he was actually, he was drunk. He was drunk through the whole thing, just blind.
Yeah, they were both like drunk.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, really bad. Oh, it's all here. It's all, their life is here. It's like idleness, like where we're going to eat. Like it's just awful. It's an awful existence, you know? Where you're going to travel next, where we're going to eat next, what play we're going to see. What the fuck? No let up. And then the appearances you got to keep and all this other shit. And just the... fucking, it's awful. It's awful. That was his life, and that's what he was trying to convey. He says, it's not so great up here either, you know?
Boy, you get bored too?
He was from a rich family that went poor. And he was like kind of embarrassed about it, but there was still like money to send him to boarding schools, and he did all right. I mean, he did everything, but he was always felt like a phony. And he tried to marry, he was going to marry rich, and this one girl, this first one he loved, told her that he overheard her say, "Poor boys should not marry rich girls, or rich girls should not marry poor boys," or something like that. He just heard that, like, but probably was aimed at him, and it gave him a complex and shit. And then Zelda turned him down because he was broke. And then he had the first book, which is the next read. It's kind of short, but this is the one that launched him, right? This was in 1920, and it was about, like, it went nuts. It went all over the place, right? And that's the one that's when he started getting money. Then he wrote the second one, Ain't So Good. It's kind of like he's drunk. And then The Gatsby came out. And nobody really liked it when it got released.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, this other one. What happened was The Great Gatsby, when World War II started, like, they started making a ton of books to just give the servicemen, just give them to them. Like, here's a pile of shit. Like, just have them. And Gatsby was one of them. There's all these great writers at the time, right? And that one took off. That one, servicemen would, like, reading like a motherfucker. That's, for some reason, that rang true with them somehow. They liked it. They enjoyed it, I guess. Anyway, that was a resurgence. But he was dead by then. So.
Wow.
1944, he died.
Yeah, it's weird, huh? Sometimes people don't get discovered. You know, Moby Dick was like that. It was a flop. It only took off after he died. He never knew how big that book got.
No, he thought he was a failure. That was his life. He's like, that's it. I'm fucked. Jesus, nobody likes my shit.
Yep.
What a drag, right?
I know. It's a great book, too.
He thought so. So I did this thing, and nobody cares. What was that other one where it was like, I don't know, some office guy? He just had an attitude. It was kind of fun to read. Bartholomew, some fucking thing like that. He just had it was just his office guy. I forgot now. It was sort of like a disgruntled worker kind of thing. It was short. So what do you do after that?
He's like a clerk.
What, George?
I think he was a clerk for a shipping company or some dock management or something like that.
Yeah. Actually, I read a book that had him as a character, as a clerk on the docks. It was like a shipping clerk. Yeah. Which was kind of cool. Well, actually, that was a pretty good book, too. Can't remember the name of it. It's still on my bookshelf.
I don't know what he was talking about. So where's Mikey this morning? He's recovering from that fire.
Mikey's
that motel he stayed.
Mikey, he missed that. He stayed in that place at Thanksgiving, and that place just burnt down the other day. Mikey's driving. I texted him this morning, just before the podcast. I texted him I got your text. I texted him, it's podcast time. He said, "Oh, I'm driving. Carry on." So.
What fire?
Was it Bluebird Motel up in Maine? Him and Cedar stayed at this place over Thanksgiving, and the other day it burnt down.
Well, last Thanksgiving, him and his son. He went to go see his son in Machias Motel.
Your George, your microphone is having trouble picking you up, and so it's kind of going in and out. If you could get a little closer to it, it would be smoother.
Let me see what I can do.
See, it's better when you get near it.
Or yell.
You can't yell. There's people
But then
at
you
home.
could just go upstairs and bug your family.
Yeah. You'll be bugging your family one way or another.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's take this upstairs, Judge.
That's what I do best, bug my family. Now Dave's alone.
I'm not alone.
You're never alone, Dave.
My wife's here.
I had to get my half and half. That's better.
So yeah, I'm loving this Kindle. It's not a Kindle.
That's great.
It's a Samsung.
Hey, Laura, what's the name of that book, Dave? Tender as the Night?
Tender as the Night.
You know that? Fitzgerald. Yeah, she knew Fitzgerald. All right, so he mentions the weather a couple of times. What do you think he's talking about?
It's been a long time since I don't even know if I've read Tenders tonight.
Oh,
I know.
I figured if anybody would know, you would know.
Well, it's just that
Yeah,
it's
there's
a
always
part of his
symbolic.
descriptions and stuff. How he sets the scene.
How the summer is ending.
Oh.
How you can just tell the summer's ending by a breeze that's blowing
I
in,
love
and
that. I love Fitzgerald's writing so much.
yeah, so does Dave.
Uh,
Laura's telling me how much she loves Fitzgerald's writing.
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
It's
How
great.
beautiful that description.
Tender as the Night is fucking amazing.
What do you say?
Said it's tender as the night is fucking amazing.
I think that was Sequoia's favorite one.
That was Sequoia's favorite
I
one.
think it was.
It's everybody's. I mean, it's the one everyone kind of agrees now is great. There you go, George. Nope.
Better.
It's not helping.
All right. That's much better.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
George just can read some
You're better.
man.
It wasn't that. It's your connection, I think.
Jesus.
No, that came out good. That came out. We got a full Jesus. No, nothing.
There's a little bit of a delay too. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know.
It's internet. Gotta get closer to his router. They won't let him in his house.
Well, do you blame them?
No, not really. So maybe hardwire it. Just string a wire down there and
You're hitting the
put in
road.
a switch.
What?
They're going to be on their way.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Well, you better hurry up because it only takes 4.5 hours to get here.
That's not. It's 3 hours.
They got to go through Franconia Pass. So Heron's coming down here from her. She went with Ryan to his mother's house, and she moved to New Hampshire, north of Franconia Notch.
Oh yeah.
But they're from Texas, so they keep calling it the Pass. You got to go through the Pass, Franconia Pass.
Mm.
We don't have passes out here in the east. We have
Go out
notches.
west. You have to call to make sure the pass is open before you go
You don't-
from Seattle to the other side of the state.
That's right. But you don't head anybody off at the Pass in New England. You head them off at the Notch.
They hit the notch. Or you run them off the road at the rotary. We got this kid. He's like, I don't know, he's really young. He's like 20, I think, right? And he hit black ice the other night, and he like really ruined the patrol car, right? So
Oh,
they told me he never heard of black ice, and I kept thinking he's a black guy, right? And the first thing I thought he goes, black what now? He has dukes up and shit.
I did some the other couple of weeks ago. It was really raining, and my truck hit some water on the road, and I did some serious hydroplaning.
No.
Like, yeah, it's time for new tires. My tires passed inspection, but it's time for new tires.
Mine is smooth. I
Yeah.
just take it slow. I take that mile easy. Still holding air, damn it. I got it'll be a year and a couple of weeks I've had that cheap ass $3,000 car. All it's wanted is oil.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's great. I think I filled it up 5 times. I'm
There's
winning.
a song about $1,000 car by the Bottle Rockets, I think.
Yeah.
Look that one up. The Bottle Rockets, $1,000 car.
Mhm.
And he talks about having to put all this work into it, and he says, like, now I got a $1,000 car.
I like that. I don't
Yeah.
like that. No, wait, I don't like that.
No, you lived it.
Oh yeah, I know this one.
It's still worth $1,000.
Oh,
But I just spent another $2 to keep it running.
scrap it. That's what I did with the fucking Jeep. I just gave it away. You can crush into a block, and you can take out a pot. Just take it off just take it.
Just get it the fuck out of here.
Get away from me. That thing was falling apart. That thing was on self-destruct, Mike.
Yeah. Ask George about those Jeeps.
I know about.
You know,
It got
self-destruct.
I'm aware of his. His got worse. These got worse. These are bad. These are very bad, and they're expensive. Fuck.
Well, You know, so's my Toyota. I just got because I bought it my last truck. I bought it new, right? So all the dealerships, all the Toyota dealers, keep hitting me up. 2022 Toyota Tacoma, like mine, $35,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna buy another one. This is it.
Nope.
After this, I'll be on fixed income. I'm only going to be able to afford $1,000 car.
I'm gonna get a Vespa.
Yeah.
An e-bike. I gotta think about e-bikes. I want to go quickly. I want no chance of survival.
Well, they'll probably burst into flames on you or something.
Oh, the battery, yeah.
I don't know. Some of those things look pretty cool.
Oh, they are cool. They are. You'd be addicted. You would. They'll do fucking.
It's not a motorcycle. You're not going to go take it on the highway.
You don't even need a plate. They're going to go 25.
People take them off road, and you know what? 25 in the woods is fast enough for me.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
way fast. And that's when you get the one that can go off. It's just got better tires. It'll be good in snow and shit. And get one with fenders. Get fenders. Oof. I've learned that one. Going to work and just fucking mud spray in your face is not good.
Yeah. Yep. Or that streak up your back from the back
that
tire.
too, yeah, that too. But you can raincoat that. You can do something there. The front tire is fucked, but you got the bar, so it kind of, I don't know, get real small. I got a bike. I was walking to work, and my boss gave me a bike when he found out I was walking, and it was like a 45-minute walk, and it went down to like 10, just because of the bike. 45-minute walk to a 10-minute ride, and the town was flat, so there was no hills to deal with.
Yeah, perfect.
It was a joy, and they had the roads were set up for bikes. There was bike paths on all roads. It's just a section of the side of the road, like the breakdown lane. There's also a lane for bikes, devoted to bikes, and you got to when you take the driving license test, it tells you how to behave around them. Like you can't go in them, you can't fuck with them. Yeah. It's a big fine, all that. Bikes are got to stop at the stop sign, though, when they got to do the fucking light thing and all that shit. But
bikes are supposed to follow the rules of the road. Although if you go in any city, you'll see that bikes follow no rules of the road. They just go where they want.
Well, they did there. That was Washington State. We all behaved. I even went through the drive-through that way. I would get my check. I had my check. The bank opened an hour earlier through the drive-through. I remember that I got a tailpipe in my face. What the fuck? I love that bike. And that was the one that didn't have fenders at first. I went and got those right away after my first rainstorm. So I got to do something about that. And a basket. Thing looked gay by the end. I went across town to a head shop, right? I'd never been there before, but I knew the address, and I got remember the fold-out maps? So I'm on my way over there. I was going to get throwing knives. They were on sale. And the stars, though. So I hit a pothole. I didn't see it. It was a deep one, right? I hit it. And when I got on the other end, my bike, the back tire had bent a little bit.
Oh.
I just sat down, like I just slowly descended like that. And I'm jumping on, trying to get it kind of round, right? I ended up dragging it home. That was a drag. And that would have been better. That's why I got the mountain bike. Remember I got that one? That was my last bike. That's why I got one of those. Like, lighter is a lot easier on you, but, man, the roads we got around, they're not even really roads in Rhode Island. They're more like, I don't know, not roads.
Hey, man, don't complain. I've been to Ireland. Those fucking roads. They're like the main road to get, from here to anywhere was not as wide as my driveway. Yeah. And it's like that crushed pea stone stuff. Yeah. It's not even like, and they told me that like there's not enough room for two cars on the roads, most roads in Ireland, except for like a major highway, like a highway.
Sure.
But they said, but don't worry, because there's always a place to pull over. There's always room that you can pull over and someone can let someone by. Yeah. And sure enough, because it happens so often, there's these like well-worn pullovers everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to do it.
But like, yeah, I kept like the GPS was sending us, you're gonna take a right here. I'm like, that's somebody's driveway. That's not a road. No, that was Route 52. That was like a major road.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen places like that. I've seen that.
They're fucked over there, man.
There's like roads with buildings on both sides. You know, it's almost like you're driving through like. I thought of it like if I ever had a car in my high school, and I drove around in that. That's what this would be like. You know, like some of the places they were so tight. You know, yeah, they could have been, except that, you know, of course there's sky, but you can imagine those, just a roof, and it's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, where Heron lives in Philadelphia, the road is wide enough to drive on, but you can't park. So people just park up on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it's just room enough to get a car through.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's in a poor section of Philadelphia, so they don't fix the roads. They just put a like a you know one of those fold out, looks like a sawhorse, but it's got reflective stripes on it.
Yeah.
They just put that in front of anything like a pothole or something, and they don't bother to fix it. Just like,
if they do that, right? I mean, there must be some that just, well, I'm not even going over there. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna take no cone. No what? No.
Yeah. Heron lives in a kind of a working class neighborhood, you know.
Yeah.
So everybody's got a car.
Yeah.
A lot of, you know, vans, vans with the company name on them, like my truck, you know, a lot of single like painters and, you know, plumbers and shit. So they do something over there. It's not the worst part of town.
Yeah.
No, you know.
There's always, I don't know what makes a bad neighborhood, really. I've been in supposedly bad neighborhoods that were just fine. You know? All right,
when I got picked up in the airport, Colleen and Tex picked me up in the airport in LA, and we got turned around and we ended up being lost in Inglewood and Compton, which are like the worst places in the country with the shootings and the drive-bys and the gangbangers and the Crips and the Bloods and all this shit. Yeah. And
it's just
boy, during the daytime, it was just like, you know, grandmas pushing baby carriages and, you know, stores and restaurants and small houses. Like the houses looked like the rest of LA, like little bungalows, but they were a little less well kept because there was a little less money in town, you know, in their part of town.
Oh, they weren't watering it. Maybe because you got to buy.
They weren't watering it. Yeah. So, you know, this was the worst, you know, like, oh yeah, well, all those guys who are running around shooting each other at night, they're all asleep now during the day.
Yeah. Yeah, they come out at night. They actually do.
But there are families living there. You know, people live their whole lives in those places, you know. It's not as bad as they would have you believe, you know.
I knew these two old ladies on Union, and Union exit is like that one is bad supposedly. Like cable guys won't go alone over there and junk like that. So I was living in Milton. There's these two nice old ladies, right? And it was Christmas, and they had like all these figurines out. And she said, "Hey, want to see my figurines?" They said they've been there since, I don't know, the 20s. Who the fuck knows, right? They've just been there forever. But outside there were corner boys, right? There was like, yeah. I remember looking at this. Do you have any idea what's going on? They didn't care. They didn't care at all. It changed all around them slowly, and nobody was bugging them. So there it is. You know, they were doing just fine.
Yep.
Just really awful neighborhood. Man. They're probably safer than anyway.
Right. Those guys would have protected them probably because they're two nice old ladies.
They never fucked with me. They used to like ask me for change for 100 and shit. Just busting my balls, see if I actually start whipping out 20s or something. I guess. Yo, milkman. Yeah. There was this one. It was on the corner. It was one of them 6 families, right? It looks like a castle almost. The whole lawn was just mud because it'd been trampled. There's just people all over the place. And there was this black lady on the 3rd floor, big fat black lady, and she had like every kid in the neighborhood, I think, up there. There was all these kids up there, and I just humped all this milk up to her. I think she was just watching everybody's kid. She was like the whatever. I didn't know her deal, but she paid her bill. And it was kind of fun walking in. yo, milkman. Yeah, white guy. One time I thought I didn't like going to South Providence at night. Like in the winter, that's when I didn't like when the sun went down early, because the sun went down early. So one time I'm down there and I'm going around slow corner and this black guy jumped in, right? And I got fuck this. Yeah, I've been waiting. I guess I don't know. So the guy bought orange juice off me, and he jumped out. And I went, well, I'm such a dick. And my first thought was that, and I said, I'm gonna fucking try and lighten up here.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't think it would have mattered what color the guy was if he jumped in your truck in the middle of going around a corner. Like, you would just be as scared as.
Yeah, it was nighttime in South Providence, so I was already like, my head was already like Stephen King land, whatever. It was just in the back of my head. I hadn't been going down there long. Well, I got used to it. It was great. I actually did great business down it. There was the end of the first month. This lady, she gave me stamps, right? And I'd known like welfare mothers. They're always trying to get these stamps to turn into cash. So I said, I'll take the rest of those if you want, right? So I did it, and then I guess she told everybody else. And the next thing I know, I've got all these welfare mothers buying milk off me, and paying their bill at the end of the month. So there was that. Yeah, I didn't get stiffed down there. I never got stiffed down there. I got stiffed in fucking nice big giant houses. Yeah, the rich people, the fucking the Gatsby's. The Gatsby's fucked me. Yeah, that's why they got money, because they don't even pay their milk bills, because they're pricks. Oh, they're awful. Unreal.
That's how it works, man.
Motherfucker. You know what?
When you get rich, you got to rip everybody else off.
I guess.
That's the way it works.
If you're keeping up appearances, that was part of fucking Fitzgerald's deal. He ended up broke. He broke. He ended up flat broke. But he went to L.A. Right. When he went to L.A., he got a steady gig, just punching up fucking scripts and shit, like writing. Just that. It was steady gig, and he was able to pay off all his debts and Zelda's medical bills. So yeah, he did right, and he got steady. He got steady job, right, and then he cleaned up. So like, yeah, there's something to be said about needing a little fucking uphill, once in a while. You can't just can't. Yeah, it's no good. It's no fucking good. What is it? Some rich kid said nothing kills ambitious better than an inheritance. I don't know who said it. It's like a Getty or one of those guys, one of those rich kids.
That's Scott Fitzgerald.
Oh, George is outside. I'm cold inside nowadays.
Can you hear me now?
No, not really. Reboot.
Need a new phone, man. Your phone's a dinosaur. You gotta get one of these. You gotta get one of these fancy flat ones.
Yeah, you gotta upgrade, George.
So, did you have a good Christmas?
I did.
Did you just you and Yolanda stay home, or did you go anywhere or see anybody?
Me and Yolanda had dinner, and then I watched football, and she went to go over to a friend's house with stuff she had baked for them, and that's how it did. Yeah. Nice. Football.
George had a terrible Christmas. George was sick the whole time. That sucked.
That sucks.
Things were good over here. I just kept looking around our little room, with all the stuff that we bought each other and stuff, like thinking about how wealthy we were,
lucky, man.
Holy shit. Like, we're still going to be able to pay our bills. It may be, tough a little bit for the next month or two, but for the kids or whatever, but like, we'll all still be okay. And we bought all this shit, like, we're doing good. We're doing really good.
It's good.
One of the things that Christmas always reminds me of is people will ask you, well, what do you want for Christmas? What do you need for Christmas? And I think about it. I go, well, I don't really need or want anything. And it's great.
What I need.
Like, what a great place to be in life,
Yeah.
We're so fortunate, and it makes you think about it that way. It's just really good. It's one of the reasons it's a happy time of year for me.
I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah, man. Good.
Oh, you know what's up? Right above our head, straight up is Andromeda.
Is what?
Andromeda, the galaxy.
Really?
Straight up.
At what time?
I mean, the sun goes down. And it'll be there most, for quite a while. And
I was looking last night. I was outside looking last night. What's the one to the east of us? Kind of almost pretty high in the sky, but it's east of us.
I know it was Venus.
Venus.
That's Venus. It's bright. Venus is bright last night.
Right, like a motherfucker. Wait.
Yeah.
Then if you look, then you look to the east. There's Jupiter coming up above Orion, the constellation Orion.
Is it further east than Venus?
Yeah,
So it's
almost due east.
It'll be lower in the sky then.
It'll be lower after sunset, but
All right.
around 9 or 10 o'clock, it'll be very high in the sky. You'll see it above the constellation Orion.
Okay, that's Jupiter. I'm gonna
There's
look.
supposed to be a planetary alignment the 25th of January.
Really?
Most of the planets will align.
Nice, Dave. You're gonna stick your head in the sand again?
No.
No. That was quick.
This is what my
That was a
camera
quick
looks
one.
like. That's
So the one on top would be Venus, and the one down below would be Jupiter.
Okay, in the east, there's Rigel, there's Jupiter. Jupiter would have been big and bright. There's Capella.
I can't see it.
Well,
All right.
that's the east, see?
So Jupiter. Maybe I was looking at Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter's pretty bright. It was in opposition just a minute ago, not long ago.
Yeah.
What else?
Anyway, it was really cool. I
At
was thinking of you because
At sunset, in the
In the west, that's
This is
Venus.
in the west.
Yeah,
Okay.
because Venus
So I was
is
looking at
around the sun. It'll always be around the sun. That's when you see Mercury too. You got to like catch it
Oh, okay.
at sunset
All right,
or
that makes
sunrise,
sense.
depending on where Venus is around the sun.
Yeah.
So that one's Saturn. That one's getting. What's going on? No, cancel. Touch something. Yeah, you got to watch out. That's the west. Same time.
All right. No, I was looking at Jupiter last night, definitely, because I was looking east and
see,
pretty
this
high
is-
in the sky.
This is like I don't know if you can see that.
I can't see that at all.
It keeps wanting to close. I don't know why. Let me see. See that right there? That's right the zenith, right? M31. That's Andromeda.
Can you see Andromeda with the naked eye?
No, it looks like a fuzzball. So it looks like fuzz, but you can see it with a telescope. I never have. I've never successfully done it. This is perfect. This is the least amount of light pollution and atmosphere, right? And
You
it's
should
my
come
best
up to
shot at it.
Jeremoth Hill.
Huh?
You should come up to the top of Jeremoth Hill and set up your telescope. You'll be able to look right at it. You're a lot closer to it. 812 feet.
Hey, when you get up on top of that hill, is the sun warmer? I'm just wondering. Ooh. You know the French guys that went up in a balloon, right? They thought they were surprised they got cold. They thought because they were getting closer to the sun. Yeah. They were like, what the fuck's this?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
No.
We take it for granted now, but they didn't know.
Yeah, there's less molecules bouncing off each other. Yeah. Fuck, that's great. It's like, ooh, surprise. All right. What do you say we let's go with these fucking sandbags or whatever? Just pull the cord. I imagine like once they get in the cold, their hot air balloon lost a lot of its oomph.
Yeah, that first one didn't have a heat source. The heat source was at the beginning.
Oh,
And then they released when the balloon was full of hot air, and then when they went up, gradually dissipated, and they had to come down.
How long do you
They
think it
didn't
took
go
them?
up with the heat source.
Could
How
look
long
it
do you
up.
think that first flight was?
It was French guys.
Montgolfier brothers.
George, how long do you think it took before that balloon started coming down?
Not too long.
Have you guys ever been in a hot air balloon?
Nah.
No,
All set.
I always wanted to try it.
Yeah, go wild. It's a thing. I don't like
They
the fact
have
that
a-
you're not in control
have
at all. You know.
the University of Rhode Island campus, and every year, and you could probably there's like limited, but you could pay someone to take you up in the balloon.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you can pay somebody. Sure.
Do it right in Woodstock, apparently.
Oh yeah. You should like go on YouTube and watch hot air balloon fails. Probably like hours of them. People getting dragged across highways and shit. People all hanged up and fucking.
Oh
power
fuck,
lines.
man! All right, now I'm not going to do that if I watch them.
Well, yeah,
You know,
that's the whole
balloon
idea of
catching
it.
fire
Try to
from the
get you to-
propane.
Mostly, I don't watch those things, Dave. You know what I watch a lot of, especially late at night? Babies laughing.
Yeah, that's better.
I don't know why, but they make me laugh.
No, it's better.
Puts
Better
me in
than
a good mood.
skateboard fails. Ooh,
Right.
ooh. I can do that for like, I don't know. I don't think I go a solid minute.
Some of those, some of those fails are like,
The rail.
it's okay because they think, well, this person's being really stupid and they're asking for it. But some of them, like somebody slips on ice and you can hear their head crack the cement. You're like, oh man, I don't want to see
I
that.
don't like those. Nah, no, don't throw those.
That's
in.
not cool. Yeah, if somebody's being stupid and they get hurt, well, that's their own fault.
Yeah, but
you
it
can
kinda
laugh at
feels-
that.
I got too much empathy. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that one hurt. You know, if they just fall and it's nothing, that's funny. You know, they get like mud on them, or they fall in mud. Like
Yeah.
watching people fall in mud and then get up laughing. That's funny. I could do that. You know.
Yeah, there was this one, like this really deep hole, like in Germany or something. It looked like a puddle, but they rode their bikes in it, and it was like, chest deep when they stood up. Like,
Yeah.
that was funny.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
got hurt. It was funny.
You ever see those cheese wheels? They roll down hills, and all those. I think they're Irish. They or the English. They run down
Cheese
the hill
wheels?
after them.
Yeah, that's a festival. They do the running of the
What?
cheese.
No, I haven't seen this one.
Oh my god. So
The
good.
cheese wheels?
Are they really? This is a good grade. They're all running and they're losing balance, and then they go into these mad tumbles and shit. People losing their pants and shoes. It's fucking great.
Well, I think I know what I'm going to watch tonight in the middle of the night when I wake up. Cheese wheels.
I'm gonna try and I'll send you a link. Ozzy Man, that guy.
What is it?
Ozzy Man, he's
Ozzy Man.
Australian. He's got a bunch of them.
Yeah, he's the one with the running commentary about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
failed stuff. And
That's
you
good.
don't really need the running commentary as much.
No, you don't need it.
Kind of distracts from what's. You got to orientate yourself visually first. And it's really
Well, I could
tough.
just turn down the volume.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I watch pranks a lot too. Some pranks are really funny. I like there's a show in Canada, just for laughs. It's like Candid Camera, but they do things that you couldn't do in America because we're too weird in America.
What do you mean? Like,
Well, like they had this like girl in a bikini, right? And she asked the guy to hold the towel up so she could get dressed. And he's holding the towel, and like the bikini top goes over the towel, bikini bottom goes over the towel, and he's kind of like going, "Oh yeah, wow." And then she takes down the towel, and she's got a nun habit on,
ah,
and he's like, "Wow, nun," like wait, that's something you couldn't do here, but they have
That's a
some
Ben
really elaborate.
Hillary.
You could
That's
not
a
do
Ben
that
Hillary.
here in America. In the United States, you would get crucified.
I saw that on Benny Hill.
yeah, Benny Hill. I was thinking of Benny Hill too.
Yeah, so they do that a lot. They do that a lot, but they do some much more elaborate pranks, and they're always funny. People laugh. Nobody gets hurt.
I laugh here in the USA. They can do that. I'm fine.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with it too.
Yeah.
Like they got a guy dressed up like Jesus, and they go by this water fountain, and he does this, and then all of a sudden wine's coming out of it, and then
Yeah.
he walks away.
Life of the party.
Yeah, you couldn't do that in America, United States.
But
No, could not do that.
But-
Here.
yeah,
You
they get
you
fun
get
stories.
thrown off network television.
They take very seriously their stuff.
Anyway, I like the other pranks better.
Candid camera. I was thinking of candid camera the other day, oddly enough, and
That was fun.
It turns out that it's just we have cameras everywhere now. They're just that show's over. You know, now people just
Right,
do it.
right.
Now people do their
That's
own. Like
that
you
other
put a
show,
statue
America's.
that looked like a statue, and the person goes by and then they move. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
The fucking scream. You see like a full-grown man scream like a girl. It's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
beautiful.
Bushman. You ever
Yeah,
see
yeah.
Bushman? There's Texas Bushman. There's a couple of Bushmans. Yeah,
Probably.
that's funny shit.
I've watched a bunch of those. All
Yeah.
types. Yeah.
That's funny shit.
It is. Candid camera. But we don't need the TV show no more. You know? And anybody could do it. You know?
Yeah. Well, the Just for Laughs thing, they have some elaborate ones. Like they had all these people dressed alike, and the lady drops her purse, right, and the guy picks it up and goes to give it to her, but she's not there anymore, and suddenly she's like way up there. He's like, how did she get up there? And he runs up there, and they have all these like magic tricks where they pull the switcheroo,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Cool.
and blowing people's minds. You know,
Yeah.
and that stuff is really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, magic tricks. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love those.
They get this one. There's a mannequin. The guy's carrying a mannequin, and it drops its head. And then these other guys walk by, and they pick up the head, and a girl sticks her head up. And so they go to pick up the head, and it's a real girl, and she goes, "Wah!" You know, scares the hell out of them. That's funny shit,
It
man.
is. Yeah. I've been scared like that. I walk around the corner in an empty building, I thought. And the noise that comes out of me is not male. It's very embarrassing. One time it was a hard hat. They had all these hard hats on these cubicles. People just left them there, right? And so I'm walking there, and one of them like moved. I went, ah! Yeah, right. Somebody was actually at their cubicle with their hard hat on. Fortunately, it was a girl, and she screamed just like me. And we were friends after that. She thought she was alone in that big old campus, right? And so
That's
did
funny.
I. Yeah, with the burn lab. That was
So we had
fucking-
butchered a pig over at a friend's house, right? My neighbor, right across the thing, and the head and all the guts were in this bucket, like a big barrel, trash barrel. And the other neighbor we had used to love sneaking up on him
No,
and
bro.
scaring him, right? And so he decides to look into and he's looking at the pig's head and the guts and everything. And just then Alex comes around and grabs him by the leg and goes like this. And he screamed like the whole neighborhood could hear him. He screamed like a girl.
Yeah.
And then after that girl scream, he was like, "You fucking asshole! I'm gonna fucking kill you." You could hear this like I was over here. I thought I had to run over there. So like I thought he was gonna kill somebody.
I was just trying to get some stuff back.
Looking at this really gross thing,
Yeah.
Tanner got really grossed out that way too. That's another. You're gonna have to save that for another time. Well, boys, I don't know what you're doing for New Year's, but Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man.
See you next year in 2025.
Yeah.